What is up, guys? A blast from the past on here with Underdog Researcher. But as always, cue my guy, Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Boom. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on our Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
And Q partner, DCENT Wallet now. Your crypto deserves the best protection. So why settle for less? DCENT Crypto Wallet isn't just another wallet. It's safe, secure, easy to use, and supports your favorite cryptocurrencies all at the touch of a button. And now with my exclusive link, you'll save $30 on your new wallet. Better security, smarter investing, $30 in your pocket. Click on the link now and secure your better security today. Love our partner, DCENT Wallet. And definitely, guys, check out the Patreon. Links are in the description for the Patreon. We do futures trading in there. And we also, I just recently gave them their bi-weekly crypto watch list and as well their stock watch list. So what is up, brother? It's been a while. Let me go to the wide view here. What is up, brother? It's been a while. For all of you guys who don't know, Underdog Research Channel, we did a lot of the Swift blockchain research together. If you have not checked out the Swift blockchain videos, definitely go check that out. Me, him, and Shook Focus. Wow, brother. If you'd like to introduce yourself to everyone and let them know how you got into crypto, and yeah, please.
Well, they say you should never meet your idols, but I met my idol. I'm here with Blackrue Investing. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, chilling. Loving the bargains we got out in this market right here. I know a lot of people are making people think it's going to be a bear market, but, you know, you got to pay attention. And I do not think it's a bear market coming. I think we're just going to go higher in this next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me just quickly introduce myself. For those who don't know me, I go by a couple of names: Underdog Researcher. You can call me Jay. Whatever one is easy for you. I do crypto investigations, and I'm happy to be here. Blackrue, it's been too long, my friend.
Yes, it has, man. You know, I know you have things to do for your job. So, like, when we can get you on, we're gonna get you on here. Happy to have you on here today, brother.
I'm blessed. Thank you, man. Let's get to it.
All right. So basically, guys, we want to talk about Plume today. I was so impressed with the things that I saw with Plume. And shout out to our brother Underdog Research Channel. Let me bring up his channel here right quick. Let me share the screen. He's been doing multiple videos on Plume here. If we go look at his video side here, you can see a few different videos here on Plume. When I saw Plume, I was very, very impressed. You guys know I love the symbolism. And if you look at Plume's logo, it is a feather, just like Robinhood, okay? It's a little different configured than Robinhood. Maybe that's something we'll have to pay attention to. But like Robinhood, it is also a feather, hence the name Plume. And yeah, I just wanted to get somebody on here who's done a lot of research into Plume, see what you have for us, brother. And then I'd like to add to that.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, Plume, I mean, to be honest with you folks, you know, I found Plume during this upcoming conversation which is ongoing about Swift Coin. Coincidentally, I tell you, Blackrue, I don't know if you know this better than I do, is when the money keeps circling back around, you can't ignore it. Yep. You can't ignore it. And to tell you how I found Plume, Plume was discussed 4 months ago on my platform through a series I have called the Connected series. And that wasn't the point of trying to discover Plume. What I've noticed is along the way, when you're doing a crypto investigation, you bump into friends and those connections, and those friends are other projects, other people. And I was searching for zero knowledge proofs technology, basically a 5,000 foot overview of what that means and how that's connected. My premise and my theory is that before money can flow, an institutional investor has to lay down the pathway. And this is an indicator, just like your joints hurt before it rains, that you might have arthritis. You can tell it's going to rain, just like when you can smell the water in the air. This is a indicator, and it's so subtle. And so through the chasing of this zero knowledge proofs technology theory that I'm showing people why you can check this out, I went through Mocha, I went through SwiftCoin, and I found that a zero knowledge technology called ZKMe was the underlying technology that secured Mocha. And then it was the underlying technology that secured Plume. But I didn't know what Plume was yet. Well, then I started looking at tokenization and real world assets, and then it all came clear. What I found was, starting with SwiftCoin, that the zero knowledge technology is the rails that have to be there for compliance and security. You got to have it. We can't talk about money flow unless you can secure that money, and institutional investors will not allow the people that they have a fiduciary responsible to, their clients, to have exposure to crypto unless those rails are down packed. So I found that ZKMe has a gentleman named Alex. He's a CEO. He secured Plume and Mocha. So that kind of gets us to where we're at. This Plume, though, is beautiful. This project, to me, Blackrue, is so beautiful. It is literally, in my personal opinion, let me go ahead and give the disclaimer. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is my opinion based on what I'm seeing. We have something that a few months ago was released, Plume, and it's in the real world assets space. And Blackrue, if you don't mind, I think we should just kind of pause right there, because I think a lot of times as a community, we confuse tokenization and real world assets because they are in a group similar, but people have to understand what Plume is doing, because otherwise we'll water it down, and I don't want to water it down. Is that good with you?
Yeah, that's totally okay.
So if you think about Plume, if you really want to wrap your mind around this, then let's create a scenario that kind of talks about what Plume does. And then you can apply this to everything. So I'm gonna give you one scenario.
Gotcha.
If you have your house, and I gave this example on a recent Connected series, you have a house, and let me take off my glasses so I can see you a little bit better with that reflection. You have a house, and let's say your house is $100,000 house. I don't know where you live in the United States for $100,000, but in this scenario, we're gonna make the math.
Right.
But you got $100,000 house mortgage. Okay. Now that is your house. Now here's the problem. It's not really your house yet, because you got a mortgage. That means you owe somebody. You got a loan for that house. What is your ownership? Your ownership increases as you pay that mortgage. That makes sense?
Yep. Yes, it does.
So if we're going to make that every month, your mortgage is $1,000. Again, I don't know where your $100,000 house is and how you only have $1,000 mortgage, but in this scenario, you do. And you go 12 months of on-time payments, and you got $12,000 you paid toward the principal. In this particular case, there's no interest. It's a zero interest mortgage in a $100,000 house. You're living it up, and we don't know where you live in the United States, but this is what you're doing. Now, at the end of that year, if you pay $12,000 into $100,000, you have 12% ownership of that house. Would you agree?
That's right. Yep. Okay.
So if you think about that, what can you do with that? That's illiquid asset. You can't sell it to nobody. You can't give it to nobody.
Yep.
You have to finish paying off that mortgage in order for you to get some type of liquidity from it, some type of revenue from it. The only thing you have done is contribute $12,000, 12%. Now, this is where RWAs come in place. So imagine Blackrue and I, we like this house. We're businesses or people. And we go to you and we say, hey, person, we see that you got this beautiful house in this beautiful place for $100,000, and we want to stick our beaks in it. We want a piece of that. I tell you what we'll do. We know of this project through an institutional investor. And I want to make sure I put some emphasis on that, because as retail investors, we don't often shift back and forth about who we really are in this pond. BlackRock, Blackstone, Grayscale,
Yep.
Hamilton Lane. Let's talk about institutional investors. Take yourself out of it.
Brevin
We know of an
Howard,
institution.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Brevin Howard,
Brevin Howard.
Arcadis,
Yes.
Fidelity, all
Yes.
of these institutional investors, guys. Yep.
And we say we know of this institutional investor. This is what they can do for you. We want a piece of your house. So you have 12% ownership. So how about you give 1% of that ownership and tokenize it by going through this institutional investor, who is the only person allowed to these type of products, because our clients at this institutional investor want to expose you to the value of your house going up. We believe that your house is going to be worth $400,000 in the next 10 years. And we want to expose our clients to your increase in house value. So we can tokenize 1% of it. You was never able to get that liquidity out of that house, but we can now tokenize it. And now we can use our rails. In this case, we're going to use, let's use an example, Plume. See, we have a package for you through Plume. It's a product that only an institutional investor can get. You retail investors, stay back. We're not talking to you. We're talking about the big wigs. We want exposure to real estate. That's the product. And we want to tokenize that 1%. You get to keep 11%. And this is what we'll do. If you allow us to tokenize it, we'll give you yield. We'll give you back at the terms that you specify, 6 months, a year. We'll give you back 20% interest yield. If the house goes up more than that, we call that alpha. Anything that's above the market price, we call that alpha. If it's the market price, we call that beta. Tokenization in the real world assets now has provided this house that you pay $12,000, you got 12%. And for the first time in your life, instead of owing a debt, now you have a product that's liquid that was originally illiquid. In a nutshell,
that's really interesting, brother. I love that. And I haven't considered it like that. Like, so now, like, you can put on a ZEBEC card, tokenize the value of your house and spend it as though it's liquid. So again, think about how that is for real world assets around the world. You can now tokenize your 401k. You can tokenize your Tesla. You can tokenize your gold. You can tokenize anything of value, including your future earnings, put them on a card, and now it's liquid. Okay. And this is what we're talking about in this market. And this is why this is going to happen, because you guys see what's happening with inflation. You guys see what's happening in the world as far as, like, I came to you guys, I told you, the $5 million for the American dream. Like, I can remember when the American dream was like $1 million or less. I know you can too, brother, probably, right? But this is the world that we're in. And yeah, so this is definitely a need. So thank you, brother, for that distinction between tokenization and kind of real world assets.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what brought it to me, Blackrue. And I tell you what, the Plume is something that now that we're in the space, I almost feel that the coverage of it is far less than needs to be. I mean, I believe that sometimes content creators don't tackle things that are difficult to explain. It's easier to talk about meme coins than it is to talk about tokenization. We're talking about securities. We're talking about debts, credits, private credit. When we're talking about financial conversations, if we're really being honest, financial literacy is not something that we often teach, and not even at that level. So that's why I started the conversation, Blackrue, about zero knowledge proofs and also real world assets, because I feel that investors buy what they can understand. But if we don't even get in the room to buy just because we don't understand it, it'll be the equivalent of not taking a plane because you don't know how to work on an engine. You still get in that freaking plane and you fly, because you get in the car every day. You might not know how to work on a motor. We don't need to understand it technically how it works, but we do need to have a general idea of how this opportunity is not going to be here for long at these prices.
That's a good idea. That's a good stuff, brother. And, you know, this is honestly why I started the channel, because I feel like, you know, so many times we get to learn about things in school, but we never learn about investing. We never learn about, you know, stocks, crypto. And I wanted to make that really simple and easy for folks. Now flash forward to a world, you know, 4 years or 5 years, 6 years after I started investing. Like, this is not your father's, or this is not the previous regime's crypto world. This is legal. This is being put into law, placed into law, and law that can't be easily changed. The next regime cannot just easily change this law. These are laws that are getting in here, and they're going to be in there for good, right? So knowing that, it's really good to have a crypto education and understand what's coming, so that you can get ahead of it and you can take advantage of it as an investor. And you know, I feel like that's where we're at right now. Like, let's take advantage of this. And I see you guys have questions in the chat. Like, this sounds good, but I have concerns. I welcome concerns. We all learn from when people address their concerns. So yeah, please take it away, brother. Keep going.
Are you want some of the questions they have about the concerns? You want to keep going and we talk about this Plume?
Let's keep going. Let's keep talking about Plume.
Okay.
But at the end, guys, we'll definitely take questions.
Okay. So, you know, so again, now we lay down the foundation, what Plume is. Let's talk about the opportunity. What has Plume done? Plume has done so much since they launched about 4 to 5 months ago. They launched around May of this year. And here's one of the accomplishments they had. And again, I will not be able today to be able to give you all the accomplishments, nor do I want to, because it's a shotgun blast and you won't be able to really appreciate it. But let's talk about the first thing they did. Plume became #1 in the world in real world assets on chain. Let's put it out there again for the people in the back. Plume, when it launched, became #1. So when we talk about #1, and I don't know if it's tribalism or not, but a lot of times we just like #1s, right? BlackRock. We'll say that all day long, but we're like, oh, Grayscale. Wait a minute. Grayscale got billions of dollars, but we'll say Grayscale. No, right. We're talking about all the RWAs. Now, Chris Yin is their CEO of Plume. Now, I recently watched him. I've been watching him for months and listening to what he said. He said a couple of things about them being #1, which is so amazing. One thing he said is either they are #1 because of the fact they're just that good, because they're specializing in the thing, or they're #1 because the market that is small. Either way it goes, he says the thing that people need to understand about Plume is they're not just creating a network. See, that anybody can create a network. They are creating the institutional legal framework to onboard compliance and regulation for institutional investors. Now, it hurts, guys, to be cut out of it. Listen, we've been talking about this too long. Crypto's coming. Crypto's on the way. It's about to happen. Adoption. I've said it in a video 3 years ago. Pre-search before you research. legal compliance has to be in order before anything can be adopted. Plume is giving institutional investors, not retail investors, a way to give exposures to crypto without their clients holding one token. And they have a fiduciary responsibility. And I'm telling you, folks, there can't be the same data breaches that we've been seeing. Like, for example, what was that? Bybit had the largest cryptocurrency. North Korea stole all their cryptocurrency, like billions of dollars worth, just a few months ago in the history of crypto. Institutional investors cannot put their customers at that type of exposure. You're talking about Walmart is not going to allow 10% to go down or all their money be going and be like, oops, sorry. That's not going to happen. So this opportunity right now with Plume is crazy. But yeah, that's one of the things they did. They became number one. Now, Blackrue, for conversation purposes, since there's some concerns, I think this is important. Chris Yen says all RWAs are going to zero. And I'm going to leave it right there because he said that for a reason, and he said it to excite people of why he would say that, being the number one. But I think that's an interesting conversation to have up. He says that all RWAs will go to zero. But do you know why?
I'm curious. Why do you say that?
So what he was saying was, we skimmed through the words RWA. And we created this category. We as people has created this category called RWAs. But in reality, RWAs already existed with the stable coin. The stable coin is the only tested, true, known RWA. It takes something of value, a tether, circle, whatever you use. It has always been, and it's the only one that's been proven to be utilized. USDT, we secure it. What is it backed by? It's a real world asset, but we don't consider it, so we give it a label RWA. That's our own basic understanding. What he says is eventually those terms will float away, and instead of being the Plume, the RWA, you'll just say Plume. It allows you to tokenize assets instead of putting it in a category. Right now, we are putting it in a category that don't fit. So his statement was not that RWAs will go away, but we'll stop putting it in tokenization, RWAs, because there's thousands, if not millions, of things you can do this with. Like Blackrue said, metals, securities, credits, loans, debt, interest. The term is so general that it doesn't really suit it, and we don't think about the stable coin. The stable coin is the most proven. So I just think that's an important thing, is they are basically leading the way for others to follow on their networks and create these institutional rails. And they're right now a SEC approved agent, which is huge.
So one of the things I was looking at with Plume is the guys, the kind of institutional guys behind it. And that really excited me here. Let me pull it up as we scroll down here. So backed by the best, Plume is supported by the leading institutions and companies. Brevin Howard Digital. So if you guys are familiar with my Swift blockchain content, our Swift blockchain content, Underdog pointed out Brevin Howard as being one of the billionaires behind Swift blockchain. Well, he's invested here. So this just backs up. Underdog said he found this through Swift blockchain research. Well, here's one of the guys that's connected to Swift blockchain. Galaxy, shout out to my patrons. You know what Galaxy is. I told you about Galaxy. They're big players in the space. And if you want to know what I told the patrons about Galaxy, definitely check the Patreon out. The link is in the description. YZ Labs, this is Binance. They changed their name. So this is Binance here. Lightspeed Faction. Lightspeed with this right angle here. Yeah, if you know, you know. Right angles. Lightspeed is an investor in both ZEBEC and also an investor in XRP. So We got some others here. Animoca Brands, again, another investor in Swift blockchain, another related to another billionaire from some of Underdog Research Channel's content, Billionaire Blueprint for Swift blockchain. Definitely go over to his channel and check that out. Animoca Brands, another one. Han, I think this is referring to Han Ventures. This investor, Katie Han, I believe is her name. Another person who has a relation to Tim Draper. Okay, if you check her out. So just nothing but bangers of people here invested in this project. Would you like to add anything to that, brother?
MasterCard, Ondo, Bello, huge names are associated, and I know you're talking about partners too. And one thing I want to add is this is so complex, Blackrue. Plume recently acquired Dinero. Are y'all familiar with that conversation? So I'm gonna put my screen on. I'll put it up here. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that on my screen, but
pull it up.
This is Dinero, and I did a recent conversation about this. My little icon right underneath the Blackrue, Plume Network, Big Dinero, and thank you very much. This was a conversation I did with a few days ago. Now, why this is important? Okay, so if you look at Dinero, for example, you may have never seen Dinero before. You may have never seen this project before. Dinero was already in the market. Now, why this is important to me? Plume has acquired Dinero, and Dinero is a liquid staking token, just like EigenLayer. And why is that important? When we was doing the conversation with SwiftCoin, what we learned was, and the rails of SwiftCoin, what we learned was that as you travel the road of Swift, it came into partners. Why did SwiftCoin connect to Brevin Howard? And Brevin Howard was a part of the people who did EigenLayer, and EigenLayer just liquid staking. Why is Plume doing the same? Because these are going to be products that they will offer to their institutional investors, not us, for exposure. This ETH, SOL, and BTC is not a coincidence. Why these one right here? ETH, SOL, BTC. SOL is part of the BlackRock build. We talked about that too. So if you look at these particular products that Dinero was already connected to for liquid staking, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Plume has just now got its reins over this liquid staking. That means any institutional investor can build with them, just like they like EigenLayer, on top of a network to give exposure to any type of cryptocurrency. And that part to me is so huge. This announcement, let me show you the announcement. What is LST, liquid staking token? Normally, if you stake ETH or SOL to help secure the network, your tokens get locked up. They give you liquid staking. You get a receipt token, LST, that you can still use elsewhere in crypto while your original tokens keep earning rewards. Example, you stake 1 ETH, you get back 1 staked ETH token, and that you can trade, lend, and use DeFi. So thinking about that opportunity, if you think about what they're doing here, and here's the announcement again, Plume registered at SEC. This is not an accident. They took a product that they knew that the BlackRock and Hampton Lane needed. They already have the Nest, which is a way that retail investors can connect. But if you think about the big wigs, now they can use this particular leeway. Let me go ahead and pull it up again. They can use this connection with Dinero by them acquiring it to give these guys right here a way to get into the liquid staking, yet another product. Now, one thing that's also that a lot of people are not paying attention to, Grayscale is considering an asset under consideration, it's Plume. And BlackRock already did that.
Wait a minute. Can't go past that. Grayscale is considering an asset under. So they're considering it to add it to one of their products?
Absolutely. July 10th, 2025, the Plume already was accepted by BlackRock, and they applied to be Grayscale. This is off Grayscale's website. You see there, assets under consideration and current products. You see them right there highlighted in green and circled with the orange. Plume is one of the assets under consideration.
So you guys definitely want to go over to Underdog's channel and give him a subscription just for that information alone. That it's if that's ever announced, this is going to definitely pump. But go ahead.
Absolutely.
Sorry, brother.
No. You're, and that's the thing about it. That there's so much there. So that was January. So January 29th, 2025. Plume Network integrates with Real World Assets, a website that's created by Shima Capital to enable live real world asset transparency. And here's the Nest product, where they already connect to Securitize, which you talk about and I talk about. They're already connected to BlackRock products. And so with this new aspect as of July the 10th, them being under consideration, what's going to happen when that happens? Oh my goodness, we're talking about some real major money flowing through.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's crazy right there. Let me bring it back here. Okay, that's very, very interesting. One of the things I also wanted to point out to you guys here, let me bring this up. So we were talking Brevin Howard. I just want to show you guys Alan Howard, which was one of the billionaires Underdog brought up in the whole Swift blockchain research. So you can see here, he's an investor in copper. Copper's like the British fire blocks, if you will. So not only is he an investor in copper, he's an investor in Near Protocol, Polygon, Mina, LivePeer, and some others here. Also indirectly Swift blockchain, which we don't, no one calls out that they're investors in Swift blockchain, which again makes me know Swift blockchain is going to be really, really good for the future. Let me tell you. And then also we have here, I want to bring up Lightspeed so you can see them. So I know I mentioned that they were investors in XRP. You can see here Lightspeed is invested in XRP, SWE, Arbitrum, Layer 0, ApeCoin, ZEBEC, ZK Sync. So like anything that you basically really want, they're invested in it. Okay. Which makes sense. They're probably big money behind XRP, right? Let me see if there are any other notable ones. Epic Games here, right? Shout out to Maximus Crypto. We were just talking about, catch the video that we put out today about Quant and ZEBEC, okay? Epic Games comes up in that video. So I'll just leave that there with that. So, yeah, so if we go back here also to, this is Ondo Finance's ecosystem. Underdog told you guys that Plume was a part of what they have going on. And you can see here, if we go down to the P's, besides MasterCard, you will see here Plume. And of course, we know if you go all the way down to the bottom, you see ZEBEC as well. So definitely ones that you want to keep in mind there. And anything else to add there, brother?
I would like to. If you don't,
did they not see what I was showing? Did I not show what I was showing there?
Yeah, it didn't come up.
It didn't come up, did it? Let me go back. Let me see. Where is it? Okay, I think I'm gonna click on here. There we go. So going back to that. Hold on, one second, guys. Sorry about that. All right, so here, where is it? Okay, here. So you can see here, this is Ondo Finance's ecosystem. We have Plume here, as you can see, and if you scroll all the way down, you see ZEBEC, and also I was showing you guys here Alan Howard, one of the billionaires that Underdog mentioned with Swift Blockchain. He's an investor in copper. If you can see that here, copper is like British fire blocks. Okay, so very big deal there. And as you can see, if we go to the front page, he's also invested in Near, LivePeer, Mina, and Polygon. If we go over here to Lightspeed Ventures, you can see that they're invested in Epic Games. Like I said, shout out to Maximus Crypto. Definitely check out the video I put out today, Quant and ZEBEC, that I did in a collaboration with Max. But we see here on Lightspeed Ventures portfolio, we see XRP, SWI, Arbitrum, Layer 0, and ZEBEC, along with ZK Sync technology, which Underdog just highlighted in talking about Plume. So definitely check that stuff out. And let's get back here to the shared screen. Okay. And if you want to say something here, brother, I'm going to go look for comments for any questions.
Okay. Someone asked about where to buy it. Now, let me show you this while you're looking up questions. Let me pull this up too. For Dinero, they're saying where to buy Plume. So if for those who are interested in Plume, Plume right now, you can obtain Plume on Uniswap or crypto.com. I'm sure there's other places, but those are two places you can obtain it. Make sure that you look at that and make sure you check the contract address. I did notice that there's other people who put fake tokens out there. Check the contract address for Plume before you acquire it. The Dinero conversation, want to show you this as well. So for Dinero, it was formerly called Butterfly. This is a little research alpha for you. The product was formerly Butterfly. It changed to Dinero and now is being acquired by Plume. At the time in which it was Butterfly, and it was at $22.91 and $22.91. It had a all-time drop, $92.5% from when it changed over to Dinero. And the price action from what it looks like, which is typical when they changed to a different token name. But it was out about 2 years ago prior to it. So just so you can be aware of it, that particular project now, again, is being acquired and it's under the ticker symbol Dinero. I see a Dinero on CoinMarketCap. I have not personally purchased Dinero because I want to look at it further, and I'm not going to jump into a project that could change the token. There could be a lot of things happening. I believe that Plume acquired them to integrate, not for them to have their separate token. It doesn't make sense to me to have a separate token. So just so you're aware of that.
Okay, and I think you mentioned this earlier. Plume is working with the SEC as well to regulate RWA. That's correct.
Yes, they're a registered agent now.
That's crazy. Wow, guys, that's crazy. Let's see here. Come on, guys, you don't have any more questions than this? Okay, here we go. One. Thoughts on AWS and what it means for crypto, in particular, the subject of centralized governance and DeFi? Well, you're always going to get some centralized part of DeFi. I know people really want things to be true DeFi, but I don't see any way around the regulation and the compliance of that. That's just the world we live in. Unless you want to go like have your own community and like release your own crypto, it is going to have some compliance and go back to the powers that be. That's just the world we live in.
Yeah, I don't think BlackRue Bitcoin is centralized now. I mean, the moment they start making the ETFs, it stopped being the ideology of decentralization is great in theory, great for conversations, for intellectual conversations, but crypto in itself, its adoption is being centralized in a way that we want it to happen. So you got to give and take. So I don't think it's going to be that way.
And that's an excellent point, brother. And like when you guys think about it, how do you think that Nvidia got to the price Nvidia got to? Institutional investing, right? And a lot of times I think people think, oh, let's pump this coin. Retail is going to pump it. Retail is going to pump it. No, institutional money is what's going to lead things to the top. That's just what it is. Like, okay, there's some nice community ran projects and that's fine. But when you think about things like reaching an Nvidia market cap, a Tesla market cap, Ford market cap, AT&T market cap, it's going to take institutions to do that. And inherently, once it gets into the institution's hands, it's now centralized.
And the BlackRue, to add to it, I think that, if you think about it, these RWAs, it's not a new thing. Tokenization has been out for a while, and it's a new conversation, kind of like DPIN was last year, and before that it was metaverse. But the difference here is that regulation. The difference here is institutional rails, and this is what we want to have happen, guys. Honestly, if you are invested in crypto for purposes of financial gain, if that is your underlying goal, then you want the institutional money. They have the most money. They pull the money of bigger backers, and it makes sense. And it kind of goes to what you were saying at the beginning of this conversation. There's this gap in financial literacy that continues to show its ugly face when it comes to the market. I don't know. I really don't get it. Market goes down, people panic, and they think it's the end of everything every time. It almost gets. I get it in some ways for some people, but it almost gets a little bit monotonous. You don't want to keep patting people on the back. Either you get it or you don't. The basics of supply and demand says that there's always a buyer and there's always a seller. The most basic principle. And so with this institutional money we got coming in, once that opens up, oh my goodness, it's at 7 cents right now. Plume is at 7 cents. I've talked about it when it's at 6. It went up to 13. Now the crypto dropped down. The hardest part I'm having right now is the government shut down and we're having less income. It seems like that was coordinated because now people can't get the money, get the tokens they want because their money's not coming in. Right now feels like desperation. Any means necessary to buy these tokens right now at these prices. It makes no sense.
That's a great point, brother. If you guys were around for when Rona happened, everybody was saying oil stocks are done. Oil stocks, of all things, oil stocks. Do you know that the entire money system is built on oil? And they're talking about oil stocks are dead. This is the type of crazy thinking that was going around, but since it's popular and consensus at the time, people were like, "Oh yeah, oil is done. We're going to electric power. All of that's done. Oil stocks were done. Airplane stocks. Things like Dave and Buster's. All of that stuff. Go look at it now. Go look at Dave and Buster's now. Look at oil stocks now. Look at airplane stocks now." And I'm saying this for people who might be new, and I'm glad you brought that up, brother, because a fright like this, a drop like this will make people think, oh man, they were right about crypto. I'm going to get right out of this thing. But understand that it's legal now. Institutions are coming in now. We got Ethereum ETFs. We got Solana ETFs. We got Bitcoin ETFs. And we have more ETFs on the way. They put a whole framework in to make it easier to get crypto ETFs. And just like I said a couple minutes ago, once that institutional money comes in, that's when you're going to see prices go up. I've talked to you guys about Hedera. Shout out to King Channing. We had King Channing on the channel. He talks Hedera on his channel as well. Hedera has some of the biggest companies in the world that own and govern it. Do you not think that they're going to empower and make that coin wealthy? Do you not think that they're going to put that coin in an ETF somewhere and make that coin go up? In fact, their CEO almost, like he said it in an interview that I did on one of my past shows. He's like, well, we just keep it at that price, but we can make it more if we want to. He basically said it like that, and he just said it like he was breathing. Like it wasn't even a problem. Like, okay, if we wanted to go higher, we can do that. Like that's exactly how he said it. Like, okay, like if I need to just go and buy something, I can go do that. Like it was just like breathing to him. So saying that to say this, guys, with this type of economy that we're in right now, can you afford to miss out on this opportunity? Not financial advice, but I know who I am. I know where I come from, Detroit and whatnot, right? I don't think I can't afford to miss out on this, guys. I'm an engineer. I do okay for myself, but for me, this is not an opportunity I can afford to miss out on. Me personally.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing, Blackrue. I think this is really, and this is not really directly about Plume, but this is a come to Jesus moment for the nature of YouTube and these other platforms with subpar content creators who actually taken advantage of the fact that they don't really educate their viewers that there's a difference between institutional investor money, this tribalism, that this token will only win. All that stuff is nonsense when you think about the overall macro ecosystem. And I think what will come to the top of the cream of the crop are people like yourself, where we're telling people, like we've been telling you for years, stop going with hype. Stop going with whatever John says. John has no fiduciary responsibility to you. And let's just be 100% honest. And I don't know how we forget this too. When we say venture capitalist too, Blackrue, we say the word venture capitalist. These people put in billions of dollars, millions of dollars. And that means when you invest, they have normally between 7 and 10 years for the maturity of that investment. So I just want to make sure you understand. So Tim Draper, when he invested in Swiftcoin in 2018, that was a 10-year investment. Now you have to look into that, find out those documents, which we have. They come back and they get an allocation of tokens or some type of compensation, but they come back to collect their money. But we forget and we act like when we see these big money backers drop money, they just, oh, don't worry about it. I don't care about my money. No one's doing that, right? So when you're seeing these $500 million going into projects like Plume, I'm looking at right now, they're currently in their treasury as we speak, holding about over $500 million. Swiftcoin, for example, using this as an example, and since 2017, looking at the records, has transferred $3.5 billion through their network. I can't even fathom that. That amount of money. So these people are not forgetting about these projects. They're literally coming back to collect, and they want them to be successful because that helps them to make more money. So the bigger Plume, we haven't really talked about Plume Nest. Are you familiar with Plume Nest, Blackrue?
No.
So Plume created this way for retail investors to stick their beak in it. No pun intended. And that is through a product called Nest. And so what Nest is a product that connects to BlackRock Build, Hamilton Lane, Blackstone, and Creditco, and it gives right now 8 different nests. Now these nests, Plume is a feather, they're a bird. These nests give different types of risk portfolios to retail investors. One of them is an ETF one. I can pull it up if you'd like me to. The other one is a different product, like bonds and stocks. And what this does is it connects directly to these institutional investors, and you can take your Plume, and with their collaboration with a company called Elixir, you can either convert your Plume to PUSD, the stablecoin of Plume, or DEUSD, and you get a yield, and you get to select your risk. So let's say you want to get in the ETF business. BlackRock has built, that's 7 cryptocurrencies. You would put your money into a stablecoin, and you want any yield that BlackRock gets from the build product. You never was able to get this exposure before as a retail. And now you got this exposure. That's what they have right now.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, I just brought up the Nest thing here. So basically, yeah, you're earning yield from your real world assets. I'm wondering, are they using something like Ondo's USDY behind it, which ZEBEC also works on, which can give you yield on real world assets, and they're using it. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. So imagine now, just like they're showing here, you got your house, and your house is in your pocket earning yield on your ZEBEC card in USDY. That's what this is. So they're like creating these derivative markets on steroids, and you're earning yield from everything. So UBS, that's a huge Swiss bank there. Goldfinch, that's another real world asset platform, which what's his name? Bill Ackman is invested in Goldfinch. Shout out to him. You got PayPal, Paxos. We know they're connected to both Metallicus and ZEBEC. Janice Henderson group. That whole Janice thing, that's a whole nother deep dive of symbolism that we can get in with the name Janice. But yeah, interesting stuff here. Yeah, this Nest is interesting, and this is just one part of what they do. Interesting.
Yeah, that Nest is powerful. The fact that you can get exposure to these right now, there's 7 vaults. Their ETF vault, there's $62 million currently in the total Nest, and that's just getting started. One thing that threw me off when I was going through each vault to see what they did was their ETF vault is only $14,000, and so I thought about that. I was like, oh, that's very, very low. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, this is before they became a SEC approved agent. And what people got to get is, with this SEC approved agency, what does that mean? We hear it. We hear SEC, we heard secured agent. This is what they can do. They are legally able to bring products from institutional investors into blockchain. The only one in the world in the crypto blockchain space.
That's crazy, guys. Understand what he's saying. So no one else can do it because they don't have the SEC approval. They don't have the compliance. They can't do it. This is why ZEBEC talks about being compliance first, because as much as we think of compliance as a safety thing, it's also a gatekeeping thing. And for an investor, that is great. Now that means no one else can come in my yard because they're being, to a certain point, gate kept, right? Oh man, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Let's see here. Let me see. I see you have a Prezi video.
No, it's just resetting.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Okay. So, wow, guys.
Here is Blackrue. May I bring this up so they can see it?
Sure.
All right. So This is again from the Connected series. I made a graph so people can visualize it. So the Nest product, I'm gonna just show you two graphs here. At the top, I made a triangle so you can see BlackRock is at the top of this, and they have in the build program, the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund has $2.9 billion. Now at the bottom, I only chose two. There's other people in this, but BlackRock's product has 2.9 billion. What's in that product? We got to really understand it. We got Ethereum, we got Arbitrum, we got Avalanche, we got Aptos, we got Optimism, we got Polygon, we got Solana. That makes up the build product. That gives their institutional investors exposure to crypto without them holding one daggum token. Now at the bottom, I used Hampton Lane because we only listen to BlackRock. We don't think about these other ones who are big players. Hampton Lane has a thing called Scope product. That's the Senior Credit Opportunities Fund. It has $1.6 billion in the fund currently. And then behind it is Securitize. Before this happened, Securitize had $4 billion under management between these two products alone. I didn't go into Blackstone. I didn't go to Credico. I didn't go to Grayscale. They have $4 billion. Now, what connects all this is look at Plume over there with a $3.8 billion potential. Plume has Nest, and they have partnered with Elixir. Elixir and Plume, through Elixir, allows the exposure of the securitized, tokenized assets that I just told you about to flow through Nest. Now, through that, you can get into the build program. You can get into Nest, those 7 specific areas. And by you getting into those 7 specific areas, you are giving yourself exposure. So right now, without lifting a thumb, here's a better view. Just imagine this. Just you got to put yourself in a position. We got to really, really understand this. Here's the vaults. So BlackRock has $2.9 billion in the build. Look at the Nest. Look at Elixir. So you change your Plume tokens to PUSD. It keeps stablecoin value. You don't lose nothing. If you put $1 in, you still got $1. The only thing you're doing now is look to the right where you see those green is deciding as a retail investor how much yield and how much risk, and meaning what's the potential. So you got stablecoin Nest, DeFi yield, ETF access, tokenized credit.
Hold on 1 second, brother.
Yeah.
So just to let you guys know, they have their own stablecoin. That PUSD, that's Plume's own stablecoin. And anyone who, like, you already know they're in with the SEC now. So they're going to be big players if they have their own stablecoin. This is why Donald Trump's agency has their own stablecoin. Everybody who's going to be a player has their own stablecoin. And remember what we learned from the CYBOs. So these stablecoins directly connect back to the central bank. So you have to be a player. You have to be in compliance if you're going to get a stablecoin like this. So understand what that means for their future if they have their own stablecoin. They're definitely going to be an institution that's going to get a lot of crap done, if you will. There. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, that's a good point. And just so you know, just because you said Donald Trump, USD1 World Liberty Finance has a partnership with Plume right now. Chris Yin met with President Trump a few months ago, and there's also pictures with the Vice President JD Vance with them. USD1 World Liberty Finance stablecoin are already partnered, and their price went up 10% when the partnership was announced.
Wow, brother, you're killing me with this one. I'm gonna have to get some Plume tonight.
You're gonna have to watch the Connected series, Blackrue.
This is crazy, bro. Like, I don't get a chance to watch all of the creators I want to watch.
Yeah.
Between you and Max is like about the only thing I can watch because I gotta get my own stuff going. Like, I swear to goodness. Wow. Okay, keep going, brother.
No problem. I'm just picking with you. No, so
no, it's all good.
So, and the thing about this, and there's such a bigger story here too. And I'm bringing up some of these maps. I'm only bringing you some. This is a map from 2-3 weeks ago. Just let me show you the potential of what we have here. Again, I'm literally bringing this at the lowest level so people can get just a inkling of an idea about the money flow. So let's take what we just looked at. I didn't change nothing. I used a BlackRock build. I didn't talk about the scope. I'm only talking about 2.9 billion. That means I'm excluding the 1.6 billion from Hampton Lane. I'm excluding the securitized. I am just want you to see this from a macro to the micro level. Let's look at this and let's talk about these rails. You got 30. You have currently right now this one, Dragonfly Capital. Y'all heard about them before. This was in the billionaire blueprint. Dragonfly Capital. They also invested in Arcanium Capital. They invested in Swift. Of those, you can look at their market cap. Let's talk about that. Three of those 7. At the time, the all-time high market cap for Avalanche was $30 billion market cap. It had $146.22. At the time, when Dragonfly Capital helped raise funds to create these tokens, Aptos, $19.90 per token at its high, 7.56 billion market cap. This is billion. And then let's go down to the other one right here. We're looking at a Polygon. At its height, we got $1.29, 5.97 billion market cap. Now that is at its height. Now we look at it at its height and we look at it where it was. It has went down significantly since then. When we look at, let me see if I can find it, but if I can't, I'll just we'll just go with it. Here we go. This is the current market cap as of about 2 weeks ago. Now, just imagine this build product has a $2.9 billion market cap based on the current value of the 7. And I just showed you 3 of them right now, 3 of them of where it was within the last 1 to 2 years. So if crypto, these 3 go back up, imagine the market cap and the money that's going through it. So what happens if all 7 go through it? Let's evaluate those products. Do we think that Solana's not going to do well? Do we think Polygon's not going to do well? Optimism, Aptos, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Ethereum. Unless you're betting against these 7 products or projects, the thing about it, all this money will flow through, and Plume has the first and the only person legally able to give products like Build through their product. So as the total lock value goes up in ETFs, then they already have a product for it. This part right here, we got to really sink our teeth in. This ecosystem only gets bigger. And this is a fragment. I'm talking about literally, I'm scraping off the top of the potential. So when you're looking at a project that has that's 7 cents, it came out at 6 cents. And now it's at 7 cents because the crypto dropped down. Just imagine you spent, I don't know, $1,000 on a 7 cents. If it goes up to where Ondo is currently right now, that's a 9x. If it goes up to where Ondo is at its all-time high, that's a 16x. So if you can imagine and this again, no financial advice, but let's say it goes up to where Ondo is in the next 10 years. Is that feasible? That it can make the prices of where Ondo is in the next 10 years? Is real world assets going anywhere? Is BlackRock going anywhere? Is Grayscale going anywhere? If they're not, then in the next decade, if any of these major institutional brands use the network that Plume has already built and its compliant regulations are already there, then your 7 cent token has potential to go up 16x. Now that is generational wealth.
And then think, guys, everybody in Ondo's ecosystem has the ability to eventually connect to them. So think of all the people I've shown you in Ondo's ecosystem, including ZEBEC, XRP Ledger, Wintermute, all of that. MasterCard, XLR, all of these have the ability to connect to them. So when Underdog says he's scraping on the surface, he really is, because all of Securitize's network, all of Ondo's network can connect into these guys.
Absolutely. This is just to share this with you. This is I don't think these are coincidences. Plume writes this: BlackRock's move into blockchain and real world asset tokenization. And in that, they discuss that they believe that they already have a product that's ready for BlackRock. They announced this 5 days after BlackRock said that this year in January that they're getting into tokenization. This is what they said: tokenization is the next logical step for crypto to go mainstream. BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, JP Morgan are all in. Real world assets forecasts predict in the next decade $1 trillion market by the end of the decade. So when we think about holding Bitcoin and everyone says, I wish I had Bitcoin back then, and now from 50 cents to 125,000. I wish I had Plume when it was 7 cents. I wish I just collected some and put it on a wallet somewhere. I wonder if this is 4 months, what they've accomplished, becoming number one, the only regulated person. The current administration has a partnership with them. I wonder if that's going to be helpful. Well, the writing to me is on the wall. Stable coins are what's going to expand this. We already got the Genius Act coming. We got, we got the Genius Act that's here. We're looking at the Clarity Act. We got the infrastructure. These major brands are connected through Plume, and everything that we can see. This started a long time ago. Right here is an XRP conversation. You look at this guy, U.S. courts. This is Michael Sonnenson. Why is this important? This is Grayscale. Before BlackRock, they had a landmark case that allowed for the first Bitcoin ETF, if you will, spot Bitcoin. And the cryptocurrency industry, after this ruling happened, the U.S. court says SEC was wrong for denying Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF proposal. This was a landmark victory, and it paved the way. When did this happen? 2023. Now, 2 years later, we got ETFs. So looking at this, seeing the connections, Barry Silbert, Digital Currency Group. You want to know who's pulling strings behind the door? This 17-year-old is the person who created at the time. He created Grayscale. Now he has Digital Currency Group. He sits on the board for Coinbase. He is the boss of Peter Mintzberg, who's over Grayscale. And he gave in 2015, prior to 2015, XRP the funding that made them who they are today, before they was even XRP. These big players are in the game. So if you're not sure what's happening, seeing the connections and how it flows, Plume is right here, and it's ready, to blow. That's all I wanted to show on that, Blackrue.
Awesome alpha there, guys. I'm sold. I'm sold. Let me go back there. Yeah, I'm sold. Yeah, you got a believer in me right here. I don't even know how to follow that up. That's so great, man. Oh man. So that's amazing, guys. Let's go back here. So we're in the Nest. Let me see. So if you just look at all these ecosystems and see things, you see Anchorage Digital. You know, Anchorage Digital's has connections to BlackRock. You know, Jake Claver uses them for what he has going on with his Digital Ascension group. Layer Zero here. We got Paxos, Mercado, Bitcoin. If you ever seen Mercado Libre's logo, you know what's going on there. Centrifuge, Ondo, Nest, Black Opal for private credit. The symbolism there, black opals and things like that. So Plume Passport. That's interesting. LCX uses the same language, Passport, for them being able to basically operate all over the European Union. I'm wondering, is this some type of passport as far as like for your real world assets? Plume Passport is a smart wallet designed for secure, efficient and user-friendly management of real-world assets. So, okay, interesting.
And Blackrue, just so you know, I'm planning. So I have the series going right now. I plan to exclusively cover Plume and a few other products, but Plume is one of these that I'm going to go deep into starting next week. I already have videos out there, but there's so much happening so fast that you literally have to be dedicated to this space because, like I said, it's very hard to keep up with all the things that there's so many opportunities here. I'm looking at the comments in your audience about how to get in and how to store it. There's so many questions, and I want to be able to provide that because I'll be honest with you, Blackrue. This is not conspiracy theory anymore. You know, there used to be conspiracy theory. People, it's conspiracy theory. People are not talking about this, and it has too much money for them to not know about this.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's two different news cycles, and these never, other than crypto news, which we all, the people watching, we all know. But then when you go outside of crypto news and you talk to different people, people have no idea this is happening. It's crazy, actually, especially thinking about it's happening legally. There are laws being put into place to make this a reality, and people are just blind.
I love it. It's one of my, people often ask, what is your biggest plays? I told you in your community that I'm a part of the Rue Crew. I don't keep a lot of cryptos. I diversify to a certain extent. I may keep 5, and then anything else I might buy a little bit of. So some of my major ones that I am looking at right now for people who are interested, who ask, is EigenLayer or EigenLayer, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it. Plume, Mocha, SwiftCoin, of course, that's a staple. And then there's a few other ones that I'm looking at as well that I have in my portfolio. And the reason being is this is so huge. I feel like this is unlike the 2020 cycle into the 2022. I really think what we're going to see here is what we saw with Mocha. It went from 6 cents, we talked about before it came out, and then the rails opened and hit 50 cents. And everybody like, what happened? Because it was in one shop. The rails are going to open. This thing is going to hit beyond control, and then people are going to be trying to grasp at it. And the next thing you know, like, hey, I bought Plume at $1. That would be the standard. I bought Plume at $10. I just don't think this is one that people can ignore.
100% there, man. So yeah, I'm really taken aback, and there's not too many times that I can get taken aback from crypto. So bravo, brother. You got me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Taken aback there. Wow. Yeah, guys. Let's see if we have any more questions, and definitely, guys, go check out Underdog Research Channel's videos on this. I'm definitely going to be sticking my toe in pretty heavy with this.
Stick your beak in it, man. Stick your beak in it.
I'm definitely going to get an initial position in this one. Wow. Let's see here. Plume on Nexo. Similar symbol. Also connected. Yes, indeed. ZK usage and its ecosystem will keep you busy for a while. What's up, Phantom Beat in the house?
Phantom. Absolutely. That zero knowledge is no joke, Blackrue. Plume is a part of it. Just so y'all know, Plume is connected to so much stuff through zero knowledge proofs.
Our guy Crypto Crossroads in the house. Let me go ahead and bring his channel up. And
Crypto Crossroads.
Yeah, let's show you guys where you can find these guys in case you forget. Definitely come over to the channel where we got ZEBEC playlist, XPR playlist, Swift blockchain playlist. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see Underdog Research Channel's channel here. My featured channels: Shook Focus Digital, Maximus Crypto, Mooniverse, Gentlemen of Crypto, and whoops. Sorry, got a little trigger happy there, guys. And then you scroll down, you see Crypto Future, the Ronin Experience, and our guy Crypto Crossroads Show right here. Definitely check him out. His channel's only been around for like 7 months, so 718 subscribers is amazing for only being around for 7 months. So definitely check him out if you guys haven't already. He's a member of my community, has shared Swift blockchain research with me, so I know he is a stellar researcher out there. So definitely check him out, guys, if you haven't already. Let's see here. Thank you, Brett, for reposting the stream.
Let's go, Brett.
Let's see here. I don't think. Do we have any more questions here? Nope. I think that's it. So, Underdog, do you want to exit out? Give us a word before we head off here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for being on the platform. We can't be strangers like this too long, Blackrue.
Yes, definitely can.
I enjoyed it. Well, to everyone, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, to share a part of the Blackrue platform. I'm a member of his platform. I follow his work. Greatest researcher there is. If you're interested in information like this, I highly suggest that you get connected to people he just talked about. If you're interested in come on my side, I try to talk about different things that end up parallel to Blackrue. We end up getting back in the same circle. Come check me out, Underdog Research Channel. Recently, I started a membership for those at the different levels of access to different content. I recognize everyone has different needs. So if you're looking for short, quick, to the point, my videos are all now below 16 minutes so that you can get that information. But some of us, we have different desires. You might need to go deeper into it. So if you want those deeper level conversations at the Underdog Analyst level, get in and I'll help you through that. Right now, I'm talking about Swift. I want to make sure that's clear before you leave out that my conversation about Swift is not about Swift coin. It's not. I'm not teaching people how to buy tokens. I'm done with that. I did that for 5 years. I'm teaching people about the technology, because if you understand the technology, you can understand what you need to do. I wanted to build your financial knowledge by helping you to better understand the technologies so you can be the expert in the room. And I think we're doing that here. Zero knowledge proofs is a conversation. Thank you, Blackrue, for bringing me on. And I appreciate everybody for supporting us, and keep on, and make sure you subscribe to Blackrue Investing.
Guys, yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, brother. And if you guys made it to the end, please put Plume in the comments after the video ends. It helps spread the video around. Definitely go subscribe to Underdog Research Channel, and be on the lookout for more from us over here at Blackrue Investing. And we're out. Peace.